Hey YouTube, Grunt Reviews. Today we are going to be doing an unboxing and a tabletop on the Taurus G3. This will be the full-size one. Seen a few of these things popping up more and more at gun shows. Starting to float into the local gun shops. Very attractive price point, right around that $300 to $400 range, depending on with or without optics, or optics capability, I should say. But really wanted to take the time, get a hold of one of these and see if it's a good $300 pistol and a really good buy, or if it is a relegated into the category of Sky and High Point and some of the other budget friendly pistols. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Before we do that, guys, go down below, hit that like button, that subscribe button, hit the little notification bell, drop a comment in the comment section with your thoughts. And if you like what we're doing for you here at the channel, I've got a buy me a coffee link in the description. And guys, let's get into it. Without further ado, we are going to pop this bad boy open. So, as you've seen in a lot of them, they do give you the basic cheapy cardboard box. That being said, this is also a very, we'll say, budget-friendly firearm, so that is to be expected. We get our manuals, a little discount card for some accessories, of course our lock, the firearm itself, and hidden over there in the bottom, and we'll get the box out of the way, is our spare magazine. And then we do get a keep muzzle pointed in safe direction, read manual little taggy on this bad boy. And I'm gonna pull that thing off here. Yeah, makes it a little bit easier with a knife. So let's get into the initial thoughts on this thing. Of course, you do get two mags with it. They are both 15 rounders. Let me confirm that. Yep, so two 15-round mags, and these are made by Mekgar. If you're not super familiar, Mekgar makes pretty much everybody's stock mags on the planet. SIG, I believe they do some for HK. So good quality magazines from a good quality manufacturer. So that is a plus side to it. Firearm itself, it is a striker fired firearm. So we do get our traditional dingus. And it does have an external safety on it. Uses what appears to be a Glock style takedown system, and then just a standard right-handed only slide lock on it. Has a, I'm going to say, chrome or a nickel finish barrel to it. Flip it around. Controls all do feel very solid. Those, at least that part does feel very, very well made. Slide, just a traditional, nothing too fancy to it. You've got some not very aggressive serrations, both a little bit on the front and on the rear. And then sight-wise, it uses a blacked out rear sight with just a single dot on the front. Looking at this a little closer, I can see what appears to be the screw, and this looks very similar to a Glock cut. I could be wrong, and I would have to do a little bit more research, but my guess would be this takes Glock sights. If I am wrong, or if somebody has some more info, definitely feel free to drop a comment down below. But the slide, the action on it does feel very smooth right out of the box, especially for the price range on this. These do run in the high 200 to mid 350 range, and then the optics ready versions, I've seen those going for close to 400. So we'll call it around the 300 mark. Frame itself, it does have some nice factory stippling, factory texture to it on the front strap, the sides, on the back strap as well, and of course it is mirrored on the other side. In the hand, does feel very nice. It's aggressive without being overly aggressive. I will say, if you're going to appendix carry this, this is just rough enough that I think that would start to wear on your stomach or an undershirt or something of that nature. But overall, definitely a decent feel out of the box for the price range. Like I said, action does run very easy out of the box. Of course, when we do our range review, we will see how it shoots. Trigger, and we'll check one more time there. Trigger, a whole lot of pre-travel. Starts to stack a little bit towards the wall. And then we have our brake. Let's check our reset there. Little bit of a long reset back on the wall. And brake. So not a terrible trigger, but it definitely does take some effort to get that thing pre-staged. I would say, with moving the trigger dingus and everything, probably 3/4 of an inch to an inch of movement before you hit that wall. But what's nice is it does have a defined wall and a good brake with a somewhat audible reset. It's a little bit quieter there. Of course, we'll turn the safety on and double check that. So safety does function, and it's just it's not a disengager, if you will. It just blocks you from progressing any further than just before the staging point there. Safety goes on and off very, very easily. And one more brake. So, as we do in all of our videos, we're going to pull out our handy dandy Lyman trigger gauge here, and we're going to see what the stock weight of this bad boy is. All right, so first pull right at 5 pounds, 7.7 ounces. Second pull, 5 pounds, 13.3 ounces. Last one. Six pounds and 2.4 ounces. I'm going to grab one more pull on this here. Six pounds, 5.4 ounces. So I'm going to say between a 5.5 and a 6 pound trigger. Despite it being really long, it's not terrible. Something I do want to mention just real quick before I forget about this. So this does actually have essentially a double action. It is striker fired, but when we pull the trigger, we get a brake, we release, we get a brake again. So this is essentially a double action striker fire. So that will account for some of the obviously some of the longer trigger pull and trigger travel to it. But it is nice that on a failure or possibly a failure to ignite, you can theoretically pull the trigger again to try to relight that primer. before you go into your tap rack bang. Overall, for the money, very, very serviceable. I'm going to kind of compare this to the High Point in that entry-level price range. Would much rather have this G3 over something like a High Point or a Sky or something of that nature. Taurus definitely does have they've actually gained a lot of credibility over the last several years. 10 years ago, you couldn't have paid me to touch a Taurus. Now, obviously, I'm doing a review on one for my own curiosity. Like I said, initial impressions for the money, feels like it's actually going to be a solid shooter. With the mag inserted, what I like, this is, of course, the full size, but the grip is just long enough to get your hand on, but it's not overly long. So this, I'm going to say, is probably maybe just a hair longer than the Glock 19 grip if you've held one of those. Definitely not as long as a 17 in feel. It's kind of in between a full size and a compact grip. I think it would make a great carry gun, and of course they do have or great carry size, I should say. They do have a C version as well that is a little bit more compact. So we'll get it out to the range sometime this week. Run a variety of ammos through it as we always do. Put it through its paces. See how it performs. Guys, as always, I appreciate your time in watching this. Stay safe. Train hard.